Hey there. Hey, welcome to today's show. And today we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're going to be talking about fail fast. Now, let me just check here on, I can never make this work. Okay, so we're talking about fail fast. What does it mean? You've probably heard this term, fail fast and pivot. So let's go into what that means, particularly for us in the green industry and for marketing specifically. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Monica Hemingway. I'm a digital strategist, and I focus specifically on the green industry, helping you to bring in more business by increasing your online visibility. And this is the Green Industry Marketing Show, where we're all about growing your online presence. You can grow your business, because ultimately, isn't that what it's all about, right? You're trying to get more customers, more business, so that you can live the life you want. So today, fail fast and pivot. I was reading a quote by Thomas Edison where he says, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that don't work." And that's a quote that's often used as sort of motivation for people, inspiration, keep going, don't quit until you get there, right? But you can also think about it as he actually, at that point, as he was trying to invent the light bulb, he was basically living by this fail fast approach. Try one thing. If it doesn't work, try something else and just keep going until you get the results you want. And I'm sure, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you've probably heard that term, right? Fail fast. Sometimes people say pivot, sometimes they don't. What does it really mean? How should you be doing it? And more importantly, how does it apply to us in the green industry? And first, to be clear, fail fast doesn't mean set up a new business, fail and get out, right? It's not about the big things at that level. It's usually more about the smaller things that you can try that aren't going to hopefully put your business under. So things like which marketing channel or channels should you be focusing on? Things like what kind of messaging is going to be most attractive, is going to be most appealing to your ideal customers. Could also be, who are your ideal customers? You can also think about it as something even smaller, like where should you put the request an estimate button on your website? Go in a lot of places, so try it here, try it there, try it here, see which works best, right? But it's not really as simple as that. And when it comes to marketing in the green industry, I don't really think that this fail fast approach is necessarily the best one to be using. So let's use your Facebook page as an example. So questions that I often hear from people are things like, how often should I be posting? What time of day should I be posting? What should I post about, and what kind of format? Should it be a video? Should it be an image? Should it be a link to the website? Should it be a GIF? Maybe I should do Facebook Live. What is it? And should I be using Facebook ads or boosting my post? Which is going to work better? And those are all good questions. They're all valid questions. And using the fail fast approach, what you would be doing is saying, okay, fine, let's talk about, say, how often you should be posting. And I'm going to try it. I'm going to post once a day, and we'll see how that goes. And after a while, you're like, that's not working. Let's try it twice a day, right? Maybe I need to go more often. That doesn't work. Then next you're going to go, okay, maybe I need to go once a week, less often. I'm going to try that and see what works. And maybe after trying all of those things, it's kind of like throwing spaghetti against the wall. Eventually something will stick, right? But I'm sure, if you're thinking about this right now, you're probably thinking, wait a second, maybe that isn't the best approach. And if that's what you're thinking, you're right. It isn't, because there's one big thing that's missing. And that is why are you even posting to Facebook in the first place? Why? What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? What is the purpose for being on Facebook at all, right? what, how does it affect your business? What kind of outcomes are you expecting to see, either in the bottom line or the number of customers or the amount of work booked? What is it? What are you seeing? And how does what you're doing on Facebook, how is that going to affect your online visibility and people's perceptions of you? Because if you've been following me for a while, you know I always say there are only two reasons, why you are not getting found online, why you are not getting the business you want. Number one, people don't know you exist. Essentially, you are invisible online. They don't see you, they can't find you. So you've got a visibility problem. And the second reason is they just don't believe in you. Either they don't believe you can do the work, they don't believe you can do it in a timely manner, they don't believe you can do it for the price they want, they don't believe you do it in the area that they want you to be in. I mean, whatever it is, it's a perception problem. So when it comes down to online marketing in the green industry specifically, and the example I'm using today is Facebook, think about what you're trying to get out of it. So maybe you're trying to improve your visibility, right? Have more people see you. Well, that is going to dictate that you do certain things to get found online. So for example, maybe you want your posts to be seen by more people. So you've got a few options here. You can create highly shareable content, stuff that people want to share with their friends, with their neighbors, with other people on Facebook. That's one way to do it. Not always easy to create unless you're really clear on who those people are and what they would find appealing. Another way to get increased visibility on Facebook these days especially is to use ads, right? Pay for it. You can boost your posts. I don't usually recommend that. You have less control over who sees it. So turn it into an ad, all right? So that's one thing you could do. Maybe your goal is to get more people to click through to your website. So you're trying to get them onto a specific page that would share information about who you are, what you do. Basically, you're trying to address that perception issue. Help them understand that you can do what it is they want. And in that case, link posts are going to be a better option, right? Things that link back to your website. So that's an option there. Or maybe, again, to influence perceptions, to get people to like you. Last week, we talked about the whole KLT, or know, like, and trust factor. So one way you can do that is by sharing posts on Facebook that share a little bit about who you are, but also you're trying to maybe entertain people, amuse people, elicit some kind of emotional response from them. And in that case, really cool photos or memes or GIFs or little videos, those would be really great things. And by the way, those might also be shareable. So that could be addressing your visibility issue at the same time. So I know you can see right now, right, that depending on your goal, you're going to want to do different things on Facebook. So trying fail fast at one thing, let's say, okay, I'm going to try using a GIF and that doesn't work. Okay, great. Fail fast. It's been 2 weeks, doesn't work. I'm going to go and now I'm going to go and do link posts, right? Different goal entirely. That would not be the right way to go about doing it. It's kind of like Edison with his light bulb, right? If he said, oh, that failed, the light bulb didn't work, I'm going to pivot. Next thing I'm going to do, why don't I try and make a radio instead, right? That is not the approach. That would never have ended up in a light bulb. So same with trying to get more visibility or improve perceptions for you and your business. You have to keep tweaking things that are in line with achieving that goal. So ultimately, all of those things are going to lead to more people contacting you. That is the outcome you're looking for, right? You're trying to get more people to phone you, request an estimate, email you, buy your product, whatever it is. And that kind of leads to the second thing that you need to have in place, and that's measurement. How do you know whether it worked or whether it didn't work? How do you know whether you failed or succeeded? And if you don't have the proper measurement in place, there's no way to know, right? So you've just wasted your time. So Let's say, so continuing with the Facebook example, let's say that on average you get 60 views, and I know Facebook keep changing how they define that. So I think they're saying engagements now. Let's say you get 60 engagements, or your reach. Keep it simple. Your reach is 60 on average for your Facebook posts, and on average, once a day, one person clicks through to your website, right? That's a fairly typical for a small green industry business Facebook page. If your goal is to increase visibility, so you're trying to get more people to find you, maybe your goal then is to double the reach. But maybe your goal is to affect perceptions of people who already know who you are, and you want to help them understand that you have this particular area of expertise or this service that can really help them. And so your goal is to get more links, more people clicking through to your website. So you implement a new approach to your posts, and after 2 weeks, you take a look and you say, okay, so my visibility, my reach has improved by 20%. My clicks, I'm getting 3 a day. Now, again, I'm sure you can see where I'm going here, right? If your goal was to increase visibility, double it, you failed. If your goal was to get more clicks through to your website to influence people's perception, then you have succeeded. So without having a clear goal for what you're doing and the measurement in place to know whether that's working, you can't do this fail fast and pivot thing. And you're flying blind. You have no clue whether you're wasting your time and your money or whether it's actually having an impact. Which then kind of, you get the same results, but you have different interpretations, different ways of looking at it, depending on what your goal is. So that's a really simple example, right? Number of clicks through to your website, number of the reach for your posts. It's really, in real life, it's a little more complicated than that. So one thing that I often see that's missing for companies is, do you know how many people who visit your website actually call you? Most people are going to call you rather than email or fill out a form online. Give them the option, right? And I know there are reasons why you might not want somebody to call you. That's fine. But if you are trying to get people to call you so that you can talk to them, so you can really understand their needs and offer them a solution, then do you know how many people on your website call? Do you know where they came from? Did they come from Facebook? Did they come from organic search? Did they come from Google Ads? Where was it that they came to your website? What page were they on when they called you? Because that tells you which page is having the desired impact, which is to get people to contact you. It's a convincing page. It's a good sales page. You want to be able to do more of that. And also, do you know, let's see, totally forgot what the fourth thing was. Anyhow, do you know how well your website is working and getting people to call you? Down the road, you can link that then back to, okay, so how well was my SEO working, right? If people are finding my pages and calling me, my SEO is probably pretty good. How good are my Facebook posts? If people are coming through to the website and calling me, then Facebook might be working pretty well for me. Same with ads. How many people come from ads to your website and then convert by calling you or requesting an estimate? That gives you an indication of whether your AdWords or now Google Ads are working. So all of that measurement together is going to help you understand what's working, what isn't. Where are you succeeding? Where are you failing? So my advice would be to put in place as much measurement as you can. That makes sense. That is reasonable for you. And that allows you to track the things that you are trying. If you're trying Facebook posts, okay, what measurements do you need on your website and in Facebook? Do you have a Facebook pixel, for example, installed on your website? Otherwise, there's no real good way to track how well Facebook is working for you. If you are using ads, do you have dedicated landing pages and do you have call tracking in place? And In case you're wondering, I recommend CallRail for call tracking. That's really excellent. I use that with all of my clients that we do call tracking with. So, okay, so that's measurement. That's number 2. The third thing that you need in order to learn from failure and to know whether, you're actually getting anywhere with all of this fail fast stuff is your mindset. Are you willing to accept the results, accept failure, acknowledge it, and move on? Move on to the next thing, take action, change something, implement a different approach. In today's society, we're really not all that big on failure, right? It's seen as a negative, and people don't like to talk about it. People don't like to admit it. You don't hear about a lot of failures unless they're really big things that everybody hears about. But if you're not humble enough to accept the fact that something has failed, it didn't work, and you measurements, and you didn't achieve your goal, then take steps to do something different, something else that is going to help you achieve that goal. So like Edison and his light bulb, he found 10,000 ways to build a better light bulb that eventually worked. Actually, I think he failed in a lot of different areas, not just light bulbs, but you get my point, right? So keep going. Don't stop. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this didn't work. Why not? Did I have the measurements in place? Did I have a clear goal? Yes. Okay. Next, what am I going to go and do? And, as an example, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and even I make mistakes. And I made a really stupid mistake earlier this year. I was trying a few things with one of my websites, Gardening Products Review. And at that point, we were getting about 100,000 views a month, which is right where it should be. And I thought, well, I don't like the look of this. I think I can increase conversions on this website by increasing the width of it so I can put a little bit more on the page. And I did that, right? So this was my measurement. I had a clear goal. I had my measurements in place. And the next month, traffic was down. And I thought, well, okay, that's not that bad. Next month, it was down again. Over the course of 4 months, the traffic dropped by 75%. Worst traffic on the site than I've had in 3 or 4 years. It was awful. And this was not a good thing. And I couldn't figure out why. And eventually, I took a really good look at Google Search Console and realized that when I made that page wider, what I did was broke the code that makes it mobile responsive. And so when anybody looked at the Gardening Products Review website on a smartphone or on a tablet, it didn't resize. It looked like crap. And as a result, Google said, crappy user experience here. I am not going to be showing this website to anybody. So if you are looking for the best pruning shears or your best loppers or the best lawnmowers or whatever, I'm not going to show you the Gardening Products Review website if you're on a mobile device because it's going to look really bad. And that's why our traffic tanked. And it took me a while to figure it out. I'm kind of stupid, probably. I was looking at everything except what I personally had done. I was looking for all sorts of other reasons. And eventually, it was pretty obvious when I really looked at it. So that was an epic failure that cost us tens of thousands of dollars. And yeah, move on. That fail fast was not a success. So now I know, don't make it wider, keep it a little narrower. And part of the reason I do all of that and I make these changes on my own site is so that I know what works on your site, so that you don't have to repeat the things that I've done to myself. I mean, I definitely have skin in the game when it comes to my own website. It's a nice source of income, and I blew it. So don't be afraid to admit failure, as long as you know what you've learned from it and are willing to then do what it takes to move in a slightly different direction or fix whatever it is that you broke. So there you have it. Fail fast. Should you do it? Only if you have a clear goal in mind, only if you have all the measurement that you need in place before you start to know whether it's helping you achieve your goal or not, and only if you have the mindset that allows you to say, okay, it didn't work. Next, all right, we're going to go after that goal in a slightly different way. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. I am back here every Wednesday, same time, same place. Hope you'll join me next week. And if you like the show, hey, leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. What are you going to go and do this week to fail fast in a smart way that helps you achieve your business goals? Bye for now.